Welcome to the Pathfinder Legacy Podcast, where we help farmers, ranchers, and business owners create a seamless transition plan for the future. From retirement to ownership transfer, we protect what you've built and guide you every step of the way.
Hello, all. Welcome back to the Pathfinder Legacy Podcast, where we talk farm and business succession without the fluff, the fear, or the family fights. I'm your host, Heidi, where I'll guide you through tough conversations, the transition decisions, and everything in between. We're starting right where most families don't, at the beginning. All right, today we're talking about the people behind your plan, your succession team. These are the people who can either make it easy or make it hard. They'll either make or break any plan that you're trying to do with your farming or business. Now, succession planning is not just a solo sport. It takes a whole team, but not just any team. Today, we're talking about who's on that team, the red flags to watch for, and how to tell if your current advisors are succession ready or just filling seats. So let's dig in. Who should be on your succession team? Think of your succession team like building a complex piece of equipment. It needs precision parts and the right tools. The people in your advisory team are those tools. Here's who you'll want. Well, first up, an attorney. Everyone is afraid of attorneys and thinks they're bloodsuckers. But, well, I can tell you, they're not all the same. I have worked with many attorneys, and there are some great ones out there, but there are the bad eggs that give them a bad name. That attorney, working with a great one, should draft legally sound documents that match your goals. An accountant, they're not just the bean counters with the little glasses on telling you how much to pay Uncle Sam. They're there to advise on tax implications now and in the future. Farm succession planner, that would be moi. I'm the one to help you guide the overall strategy and wrap my arms around all of your advisors. A lender, well, they're there for the money. A trust officer, if you create a trust, they're the one that will manage and distribute assets in line with your plan. Life insurance agent, to fill financial gaps and reduce risk. Each of these roles matters, but what matters more is who's sitting in the seat. All right, let's talk about those red flags. How to vet the right advisors and pick the right people to avoid the wrong ones. Vetting an attorney. You worked hard. Don't let anyone tell you who doesn't understand your business ruin it or cost you more in fees and time. A good attorney will listen first, plan strategically, and write clearly. But, as I said before, not all attorneys are cut from the same cloth. I once saw an attorney charge $5,000 for a 100-page trust document that read like a foreign language. It was a 3-ring binder full of a lot of fluff and guaranteed that the family would have to hire another attorney just to interpret it after the grantor passed. That's not a plan. That's a job security for them. And I've seen it all too many times where they've done this to secure future work for themselves. Another red flag is a cookie cutter template that gets your name plugged into a document by a legal secretary for thousands of dollars. You can check an attorney's license, discipline history, and credentials through your State Bar Association's website. And if your gut tells you they're not hearing you, move on. Vetting an accountant. A good accountant helps you plan for taxes, not just report them. They should walk you through capital gains and estate taxes, plan for depreciation on equipment and land, and help you with gifting strategies and entity structures such as trusts or LLCs. Working together with your financial team, if they have not worked with farming families, stumble or give vague advice. They may not be ready for your level of complexity. And trust me, taxes will be part of your legal legacy story. Whether you plan for them or not, Uncle Sam will always be coming for you. Vetting a banker. Is your banker fluent in agriculture or just fluent in fees? They should know ag lending like the back of their hand, understand operating loans, real estate financing, and guarantees. Help structure buyouts between family members and know the difference between leverage and risk. All right, so here's a story, because I'm always full of stories. So this one I found interesting when I once met a banker who came out for a visit. for a farm visit. He was wearing khakis and a bank-branded Escalade. They walked the minimum distance, took a photo, then ran back to the leather seats. To me, that's not relationship lending. That's just checking the box for the visit. Find a lender who understands how your operation works, asks questions, and talks like someone who's actually been to a field or calving barn. They need to be up to speed on what is happening in agriculture and the economics of it all. Vetting a trust officer. Okay, this one's personal for me. As a former trust officer, I know what it takes to serve farm families well, but not everyone in the industry gets it. And I might be more passionate about agriculture than the rest of my peers. In today's financial world, I've seen fewer and fewer trust officers with that experience to manage agricultural assets. I once heard of a trust officer who'd bring hand sanitizer and a backpack just to do a farm inspection. Afraid of a little dust or mud? Well, that's yet to be seen for that one. Your trust officer should not be someone that romanticizes going to the countryside. And another didn't know the difference between desiccate and defecate. Now in ag, we all know there's a big difference there. My husband says that's not exactly wrong. We do just kind of spray some shit on there. Some trust officers also have legal degrees or are CPAs, which can be a huge asset, but only if they use that expertise to simplify, not confuse their clients. If so, you need to verify their certifications. Ask, what's your background in agriculture? How far removed from agriculture are you? If you don't have an understanding of today's agriculture practices, nor the understanding of the business side of the farm, how are you going to best make decisions for my farm in my absence? What are your on-site tools to help guide you? How do you make trust distributions work in real life? Do you just check the boxes? Do you follow the trust agreement and get all the details before making the distribution to my beneficiaries? Do you work with on-farm family members? Do you discuss current cash rent values and the cost of inputs to operate? Or are you just looking at federal statistics to make a decision on how much rent to charge? Are you actually looking at the condition of the fields when you come out for a farm inspection? Are you seeing, is there more erosion or noxious weeds that need to be controlled by the farm tenant? Or can you tell if these fields are better suited for grass or tillage? I couldn't tell you how many blank stares I'd get when I'd talk about crops, forage, cattle prices, or the cost of inputs in my staff meetings. I would beat my head against the wall just looking across the room. So I knew I had to work even harder to help give them the knowledge to best do their job. Vetting a life insurance agent. Life insurance can be incredibly useful when it's done right. It can fund buyouts, provide liquidity, or equalize distributions to non-farming beneficiaries. Life insurance agents should explain dividend-paying whole life versus term and universal policies. Understand how to use insurance in succession plans, coordinating with your attorney, accountant, and succession planner. Know how insurance interacts with trust and estate taxes. I've seen life insurance used to fund a buyout, so one child could buy land without having to sell commodities at the low. This gave both the farming and non-farming siblings an inheritance. All right, so here's another one of my stories. I once had a life insurance agent call, raging mad. The phone was hot because we stopped paying into a policy inside an irrevocable life insurance trust. The client was paying more in premiums than the death benefit was even worth. And besides, the client didn't need this type of policy for her estate plan. We petitioned the court to revoke the trust. The judge gave his blessing and the trust was revoked. But you'd think we killed the insurance agent's dog. Why? Because we were no longer profitable to him. That's the difference between an agent who works for you and one who works for their commission. Questions to ask your agent. Keep this in mind. What's the purpose of this policy in my plan? Will it last through the end of my life? Are there better alternatives? And make sure your agent is listening to you and looking at your entire operation when finding a policy that fits your needs. All right, Now let's talk about is your current team succession ready? Taking a look at your current advisors. This is one of my largest pet peeves. Do they return your calls and emails? Are they timely with communicating with you? Do they speak your language? This means it doesn't sound foreign. Are they talking to make themselves sound smarter or feel better? Or are they wanting to help you? Do they understand your values and goals? Do they work together as a team? If not, it might be time to reevaluate your team. You don't just need a team that protects your assets and your family. You need a team that understands and protects your story, the history behind the acres, the values behind the decisions, the why behind the work. Are you confident that everyone on your team truly knows what they are doing? That they'll show up, stand with you, and help craft a plan that works? You already know your team is important, but who's the coach overseeing the big picture? Who's making sure they're actually talking to each other and working towards your goals? That's where I come in. As a farm succession planner, I sit at the center of the team, making sure your attorney isn't drafting a plan that no one understands. Your accountant is considering long-term tax impacts. Your lender is structuring financing to fit your transition timeline and knows all the players in the farming operation. Your trust officer understands your ag assets, and your life insurance agent is working with a policy to help provide liquidity at your death to your family, alleviate taxes, pay last known bills, and create generational wealth. I've definitely sat on both sides of the desk in trust management, estate administration, and business planning. I've been the one reviewing documents, navigating probate, cleaning out estate houses, and watching families argue over things that could have been fixed with better communication and clear plans. That's why you need someone at the center who sees the big picture, someone who can connect the dots between all of your professionals and family members and help you move from someday to action. As a farm succession planner, that's where I come in. I help guide the process, keep everyone on track, and making sure your legacy isn't just protected, it's understood, respected, and passed on with purpose. At the end of the day, the right team protects more than just your stuff. They protect your legacy. Thanks for joining me today on the Pathfinder Legacy Podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, share it with a friend, a farm family, or your own advisory team. And if you're ready to start building or evaluating your team, let's have a conversation. You can connect with me at pathfinderlegacy.com. Until next time, I'll see you between the ditches.
Thanks for listening to the Pathfinder Legacy Podcast, where your future is our focus. Be sure to subscribe, follow us on social media, and visit us at pathfinderlegacy.com to start building your transition plan today.